Hey everybody, this is Guiding Halo. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to go ahead and pull a reading for everybody. Yeah, everybody. I feel like there's a mass net of protection right now, and this net of protection is like we've all been in some sort of hangman mode. Definitely have been, based on contracts, decisions, whether that's love, romance, whichever. It could be over property, what's mine, what's yours, what's going on. There could be a lot of confusion here. And we're all up in our feels about it. So the reality of the situation is, when we end up in a situation that we get up all in our feels about, there's a new way in an awakening. There's a new way of having contract moving forward with yourself about what it is you want to manifest for the long term and what's going to bring you stability. Also, what's going to bring you stability emotionally. So, what is your contract here? What is your contract? That's a good question, isn't it? What is your contract? I believe that there's a soul remembering going on, and people are starting to remember from their soul, after a time of opening their hearts and having an awakening, what their true soul urges are. What calls your soul forward, what brings your soul delight. What is that? Yeah, what is that? It's a good question. So in this awakening, looking at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill, it's important to be yourself. There's something about it's almost like, even if there's a weight involved in finding out a pathway forward for your soul, or where the divine wants you right now, or where you figure you want to be, there's a protection involved. And the time to come out of this hanged man tree will be brought to you by the divine. There will be a soul calling, an urge on your soul that will be so great that can no longer be denied in any way, shape, or form. Whatever that soul calling looks like to you. But there's something that definitely needs a different perspective. And I think a temporary standstill right now, it's like a breath of pause, 12 days maybe? Yeah. Temporary standstill is about trying to keep balance between where you're headed and where you're at, what you've known from the past. It's like integration going on here. The divine is trying to integrate you into a scenario that is, or a something that has to do with some permanence. Let's pull some cards on this awakening, shall we? Divine movement forward, to see what I say about the divine chopping you out of this hangman tree to bring divine movement forward. Possibly for some between the 7th and the 12th of October. around Thanksgiving time. What's more about this divine movement forward, please? There's indecision. So who's undecided? The divine may have chopped you out of this tree, but it's like you're watching and waiting and watching everyone's actions, because actions speak louder than words. And a person can say one thing and take the time to even say that one thing, but when their actions aren't put to match their words, there's an issue, because the contract of integrity that that person has within their soul, there's an elemental break in understanding. When someone's actions do not match their words, when someone's time allotment does not match their words, there's a fracture in their understanding, in integrity and in compromise. That's interesting. I've never saw it that way before. Another, making the decision. It won't be indecision for long, because the divine is coming in to create this movement forward. Three of Swords. So someone very well may choose to end something. There's great sadness here involved in whatever this decision is, because they've got to leave something else behind in order to choose something forward. And that's always the way it is in life. We can't get away from that. It's the way it works. There's something that you thought was your soul urging you forward, and sometimes that has to be left behind in order to move towards what you're passionate about. And it would cause absolute great sadness. And I see someone making the decision here to do so. It's almost like, I always say that this is like stabbing your heart with your own swords of knowledge, what you've built so far and what you know, that Ace of Swords you carry forward with you. The Two of Swords, where you sit there and contemplate. The Third Sword, where you take all three and you stab your own heart in like a it's easier to do this pain to yourself than to have someone else do this to you. That's what I'm getting for somebody out there. And there's awakening, and the divine is bringing movement forward to help you understand what this process has been and why. We have a 7, a very spiritual number. It's about delving into the divine spiritual code that is within all of us. And we have 2 here and 2 here. So someone could be making a decision passionately, and perhaps another person is in stalemate, which ends up causing this broken heart. But nonetheless, regardless, the divine is bringing this about, moving it forward. We have the Lovers here. Let's find some clarity on the Lovers card. This is about contracts, intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. So you see, someone is definitely in decision mode, but unless you make that decision, you cannot stay in stalemate forever. Unless you make that decision, there will be great pain regardless. So if you're in great pain while waiting for decisions to be made, perhaps it's time to make the decision for yourself, even if it means ending the pain. Here, you see. So this is something about feeling nostalgic about the past. This is about memories from childhood. This is about soulmate energy. This is about 2 people that in some level remember each other. two people that, see, we have 2 6s here, 2 people that in some way, shape, or form have found balance or want to. See, carefully weigh your decisions. Someone's in decision mode here, and there will be divine movement forward. And the indecision as to whether to go with your passions or to walk away, that's a heavy, heavy responsibility to even take upon doing this to your own heart, because you refuse to wait around. You refuse to waste time while somebody else decides to not decide. You see what I'm saying? Too many cards. So this soulmate energy, I'm told to shuffle this way. This soulmate energy, this childlike energy, it's almost like this contract, this scenario, this soul remembering thing. It's like the divine brings out the child in you when it's around. And in some sort of way, to walk away from it is almost like denying your inner child. It's about embracing joy, embracing love for purely love's sake. These 2 children love unconditionally. They just love you until they realize that, you know, they don't have to, if they don't want to. And even then, most likely they still love you. So carefully weighing your decisions based on what your soul needs, what your soul feels attracted to. Putting down the burdens. You want to put down the burdens. Someone here definitely wants to put down the burdens. And it's really about the burdens to never having something work out, I feel, the way you would like it to. I think there's been a cycle ending here of the, you're not going to make the decision? Fine, I'll make the decision. It's over. It's like, my way or the highway. Make the decision now or I'm out. And I think it's been a cycle, and that's what this awakening is about, is a cycle that is ending for a lot of people. And I think with the cycle is how they've done contracts, whether business-wise or in emotion or in love or whichever in the past, has always caused an issue. And you know in your soul, the soul remembering is telling you there's more going on here than meets the eye. You want to put down the burdens towards what it is so far you've not been able to, what's the word? You've not been able to bring to fruition for yourself. This is for somebody, I believe, who's had relationships that have been possibly called in people who are not willing to put their all into it, or are choosing the spiritual path but yet attracting people that are not on a spiritual path, perhaps. There's something about putting the burdens down to the way you've done soul relationships so far, putting the burdens down towards the contracts that you used to have. There could be lack of clarity, there could have been secrets, there could be all these sorts of things. Perhaps that's what you fear. We do have a new moon coming up on the 17th. And this is the 18th here. So more going on here than meets the eye. If somebody is weighing their decisions carefully about a contractual agreement, I feel you're going to want to put down the burdens towards it, because there's no clarity here. There's like no clarity. Oh, wow, look at that. And then we have the Magician. So in putting the burdens down in some way, shape, or form, perhaps all of those clarity comes forward. Perhaps that's when the new start comes forward, is when you pull the weight back. When you pull your energy back, you pull yourself out of the situation. Contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. This is about home stability here, this Four of Wands. It's not about marriage. It's about being content and at peace and feeling abundant where you are. It's about creating a new trajectory forward. It's about really, it's about your standards. What's your standard of living? What brings you happiness? Some people feel marriage will bring them happiness. But this is like the four wands. This is like what's coming is something that you've manifested. This thing, the successful completion of a project. And we have wanting a new start here, or heading to where you can create a new start. There could have been a new start that was promised or someone was hopeful about a new contractual beginning. But because somebody in the situation kept putting it off or went all crickets on them, it's kind of like they decided to make a new start themselves and putting the burden down. Perhaps you were thinking about joining with a company in some way, shape, or form. Two companies coming together to form a more of a bonded, four-cornered type business, an enterprise as opposed to a business by one. I see there's a new start here, even though there's lack of clarity. So perhaps you decide to put the burdens down toward the contract due to lack of clarity, not seeing things going on behind the scenes, not knowing what's going on, and therefore you decide to start out, just go on your own. Then we have the Queen of Wands here who, you know, this woman, this energy, I should say, she does not, it's like the energy of this card, she goes after what she wants. She's incredibly intuitive. She has a lot of passion. She attracts things into her life that are just like, they just fall into her lap to a certain extent. It's like she can grow anything. It's like she could probably even find a way to manufacture or engineer the seed that grows that sunflower if she wanted to, from scratch. But there's some sort of getting out while the getting's good here. It's kind of like someone's leaving camp while they can. I think they feel that something's about to go down and it's time to get out while the getting's good. Either that or she's manifesting something under the scenes and there's some sort of manipulative tendencies. Being we have the Magician here and this card, I would almost sit here and wonder if there's some trickery going on. Sly behavior. Juggling. Now this could be lying, cheating, or stealing. It could be stealing from the home. It could be stealing from this contented and rewarding place. Perhaps you've come to a business that if you actually go into contract with another, that it's like you will be stealing from yourself because you're concerned about someone's moral integrity in business, perhaps. Juggling, it's like finding a new divinity within you, including your finances, your emotions, your passions, the energy you're willing to put into things, your knowledge, your wisdom, your happiness, and most of all, using your intuition to do it all. Your passions and your intuition to do it all. But see, this person wants to leave 2 swords behind. It's like, well, I can't carry everything into the new. I can't carry every sword with me. Like, I'll get stabbed. So this possibly is about leaving the past in the past and starting with a clean slate. But I'm not so sure that someone has the ability to do that, because if you're trying to build a peaceful place and abundance and the happy completion of a project, it seems to me that someone's trying to get out while the getting's good. Could be juggling a lot of money. Look at that. Very exciting times. This is the 10 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles to 10 of Pentacles. Trying to juggle everything. Take everything that you can with you. Using your passions. Someone might be leaving deception behind. Someone might be leaving juggling behind in order to head to a 10 of Pentacles scenario. Perhaps realizing, and this could absolutely be an absolute celebration for this person. Yeah, sure could. I'll put these cards back in the deck, but let's look at them. See an ending or a transformation with the Queen of Pentacles. In some sort of way, an ending to a business thing or something that happened causes confusion about which way to move forward. And this putting down the burdens here. With a contract. And even though there's lack of clarity about how to move forward, someone still wants a brand new start. This whole energy of this is about someone intuitively seeing what's going on while someone else juggles a lot. Could also be that this person that's incredibly passionate has an intuitive nudge, serious intuitive nudge, I might add, direct line to the divine. Money and finances could have created a stable environment, but perhaps this person is still lying to themselves about the spiritual divinity that's created this abundance for them, and they feel they did it all themselves. Let's move these over as we move forward. So we have the Queen of Cups here, if you can see it. Relationships develop to a deeper, new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. So this could be what someone wants, business and otherwise. But there's lack of trust here because of lying, cheating, stealing people often out previously. And juggling, the focus is the 10 of Pentacles. Perhaps someone has stolen money from this person. Perhaps someone has stolen time. Perhaps someone, in some sort of way, due to not following their end of the deal or their end of the bargain, has felt like they weren't the priority. Contentment, peace, and abundance. But see, they're not believing it. These are about what they think, about their wisdom, about their knowledge. They're about taking all that with them and leaving 2 swords behind that no longer serve them. What are those 2 swords about? That juggling all of the emotion and the money isn't worth it in order to have the 10 of Pentacles, perhaps? I mean, there's so many things you could say about this card. Building a solid foundation to something. Yep. I'm going to move this one over here for now because we've already done it. And then put the Queen of Cups here. So what's this about? Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. Tender-hearted, empathic, patient, and loving. This is about unconditional love and understanding where people are coming from. There's a battle within somebody here as to emotional love and allowing themselves to be in an emotional situation. Relationships develop to a new level. So taking a leap of faith. Now this is a blind leap of faith, not knowing what any outcome is going to be, regardless of past issues. Taking a leap of faith to open your heart, to wear your heart on your sleeve. Being patient and loving in some sort of way brings relationships to a new level. It brings about celebration. You taking a leap of faith is going to bring celebration into your life. This is people coming together to celebrate. 3 women. I believe if this was about third-party scenarios, this would be, you know, well, I guess it could be if you're same-sex relationship. But this is about celebration. It's about celebrating the harvest. So perhaps after harvest time, that's when the emotional call will be met. And perhaps there's a whole bunch of mind fuckery going on with what someone's up to, or how many someone's up to. I think there's a definite, you're of 2 minds about something. You're of 2 minds about something. Look at that. 4 of Wands again. So you want 4 of Wands in your finances and your knowledge, and you want 4 of Wands in your emotions. This is beautiful, because this is telling me that you're coming into a massive, massive balance, which is what the number 6 is in the Lovers. It's also the card of Gemini. One more card for this Queen of Water. Relationships developing to a new level. Someone could say, hey, let's, you know, it could be a proposal of marriage, taking a leap of faith. I see somebody's grieving over past stuff, though, and can't leave all of the past behind. It's like they can't leave what they thought they knew all behind, because if I do that, then, like, yeah, if I do that, then what? If I leave it all behind, that's why the 7 of Swords is here, right? It's like I've got to be able to get away with something. Take something with me that I've worked towards. Deciding what it is that's most important to you. And heading towards the 10 of Pentacles. And we have the Emperor here. So relationship developing to a new level with somebody who's like this Emperor. He like watches over everything, takes care of everything. So there's a masculine energy here. It could be male or female. Masculine energy that is taking on a new heart for what they desire in this on the planet. It's like a soul remembering. This is what I'm talking about, soul remembering. It's like you have a contract before you come here, and the soul lays down the burdens, and there's lack of clarity about what you're even supposed to do. It's like we forget before we get here. So we start up with a passion. In some way we feel like we're lying to ourselves about contentment and stability. What is that? And we go through this whole life of what does that even mean? Juggling back and forth between our money, our finances, people, you name it, in order to get to what we think is some sort of stability, some sort of any financial stability. But the only stability comes in soul remembering. That's what I'm getting here. Taking a leap of faith to wearing your soul on your sleeve, showing you in a vulnerable way, brings with this leap of faith in is very vulnerable, walking towards a cliff, for Pete's sake. Taking a new way of being vulnerable forward, which brings a celebration for you in the home life or whichever it is you want to build. And in some way, shape, or form, it's about taking control of how you move forward. It's about taking control of what you want to build here. Absolutely. All right. Let's pull. Do we want angel messages? You know what? Let's pull these ones. I enjoyed these last time. Earth Wisdom Oracle by Barbara Moore. Let's pull one or two of those. Okay, I'm back. So I've realigned things a little bit here. I waited for my roomie to leave so that the noise level wasn't quite so great. I pulled some of these, two of these cards came out here that I was working on, and one is Heal Thyself, and the other one is Truth. So there's something about speaking the truth that will heal yourself. Card number 24 and card number 25, so we're moving from a 6 to a 7, understanding balance, but in a very spiritual way. So you might want to get some aconite. Provides protection as fears are faced and when working with the dark goddess. Peridot is traditionally used by healers to maintain their own health. Some illnesses are only physical. Others have deeper roots. In order to move toward better health, you must enlist the help of the dark goddess and enter your heart, confronting your deepest fears. Find the poison that is hurting you and remove it so that healing can occur. I don't know how loud all that is for all y'all, but it sure is loud here. I hope you heard me reading that. So let's move to card number 25. So that's, you know, healing thyself, digging very deep within the shadow side of soul, within everything, digging so deep to understand why these cycles keep coming in. There's something to do with contract that you're moving out of that's been soul, karmic, whatever, and you're healing yourself moving forward. Truth. Let's read the card of Truth here. Foxglove helps open the heart and express feelings. Amazonite promotes knowing and speaking the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The wheels of society are greased by civility, which sometimes means not always speaking the truth or the whole truth. However, in this situation, you are called upon to understand your own truth and to speak it clearly, no matter how strange it may seem. Your truth is the music of your brave heart. Offer it to the world. I actively pursue my own truth and value it. I have the courage to sing my own unique, divinely inspired song, knowing that it adds to the goodness of the world. So see, coming into soul healing, it's really about healing yourself so that you can find and come into a new way of understanding your truth. This is like leveling up in what your truth actually is for you. One more card, please, here. We have awareness, card number 13. So being aware, heightened over, like not even over, but extremely enlightened and in heightened sense of awareness. Card number 13. Mugwort aids dream work and integrates and controls psychic abilities. Moonstone enhances extraordinary awareness. There are whole worlds that are unseen by ordinary awareness. You have the capacity for extraordinary awareness. Work on developing your skills, your psychic skills, and pay close attention to your dreams. Things are not always as they seem, and you will need all your senses, physical and metaphysical, in order to move forward. So if there's something that you want to move forward with that looks absolutely quite beautiful, I might add, it's about having an understanding that speaking your truth heals the past. Speaking the truth of who you are can heal the past just simply by speaking the truth. I'm getting a message that if someone is being bullied by an older parent or someone that you take care of, they're possibly bullying you because they fear you leaving. And in order to keep you there to take care of them or protect them, they need to keep you small. They need to keep you, that's what they feel. They need to keep you small. Whereas if they gave an act of service in love and set you free, you would be there daily as of your own volition anyway. And then they would actually know that you're there because you want to be. But there is so much fear that needs to be healed here. And I'm going to say that it's with this person here, this older emperor type energy, matriarch, patriarch of the family. Because they don't want to be alone. And there's a real awareness that you're going to have to keep as you move forward, if you choose even to move forward with this soul remembering. Some people will say, nope, I'm not moving into a thing where I've got to heal myself anymore. I've done that. You know, the truth, I've spoken my truth. I've said it how it is. I've worked on everything. I have the awareness I need. And nope, I just want to stay away from people. Well, I'm going to sit there and say, have you healed it? Or are you avoiding the healing of it? It's a good question. Avoidance only takes you so far, my friends. Then comes that, what I call that spiritual brick wall. That spiritual brick wall is like this. Saturn going direct on October 4th. That comes along and says, you've not done what you're supposed to do. You're going to walk beside me in a hurried path on the street to go get where you want to get. And when you land on your ass, trust and know that it's me. Because I'm here to let you know that as you move forward, you cannot do that unless you've done the healing on self. You cannot bring healing to situations. You cannot bring healing to others. You cannot bring healing to anything unless you do it on yourself. And I'm not talking just about your childhood. I'm not talking about all of that. I'm talking too about what just happened yesterday for you. What just happened yesterday for you? When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. Does this card keep coming up? Have you ever been in so absolute hell to the knots not happening to take control of a situation and realize that all you did was break your own heart in the process because you needed control of the situation? That's toxic crap. I'm not walking into that. Well, if you're a light worker, I promise you the divine will take you into toxic crap relentlessly. Why? Because there's toxic shit out there that needs healing. And if you're a light worker, who does the divine use to go and heal it? It's not fun all the time. It's not easy, especially when the light worker comes under attack. It's not easy at all. So when you think you've surrendered, how can you surrender more? How can you put the full you on the line for the divine in whatever they ask you to do? How can you do that? The presence of love will always cast out fear. Whoever is in fear about the lying, the cheating, the juggling, the people stabbing me with this, the stabbing me with that, you need to heal thyself. You need to heal yourself. And how do we surrender to the healing? How do we surrender to allowing the divine to heal? By absolutely being there to serve, not for any other reason, not for any other reason than out of a pure place of love. And understand and realize with this heightened sense of awareness that the universe has your back at every moment, at every time. Every moment, at every time. I believe there was an ending that was absolutely necessary to have happen for many out there. And it could be that the confines of that, as you would view it as confining, is going to come back around. But there is some sort of new perception change that you've had, and the divine is kicking your butt out of that hanged man tree. And when the divine kicks your butt out of that hanged man tree, it might cause you some pain. How long have you been hermitizing? How long have you been hangmanning? How long have you avoided dealing with the toxic relationships that the divine has taken you into? How long? Saying, nope, it's toxic. I'm out of that crap so I can do the divine work. Well, guess what? Your divine work, that's part of it too. What you left behind. That you can't seem to get out of your soul. That you can't seem to, in the dark of night, there's still love there. That's why you can't get it out of your soul. There's still love for that situation, for that company, for that contract, for everything that happened. There's still emotion and compassion moving throughout this whole reading. If you cannot get rid of something out of your soul, it's because there's still the presence of love there. And the presence of love in the wee hours of the night, my friends, is casting out your fear. The presence of love, as it grows and builds, casts out fear. And all of a sudden you start to realize that the universe has had your back all along. I love you guys. I hope this collective reading resonates. Messages to you. Love that message. Resonates the messages to you. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore, you see. I love you guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Blessings.